What's up, guys? Welcome to your 169th Android tutorial for the new Boston. What we're going to do in this tutorial is we're just going to set up our renderer, the basic framework, and just kind of render something and just get something going. And we'll just kind of talk about the methods that the renderer uses and what it's for the most part. But let's add that code, that line of code I told you guys we need to add it within this tutorial for our GL example class. And again, we set up that surface view called our surface, and all we're going to do is add a renderer to it. So we're going to say dot set renderer, and we're just going to say a new GL renderer ex, which is what we're creating. And there we go. Basically, we're setting up a renderer that we're creating. You know, when I thought about making the class's name, I was debating whether I should put the GL in front or not, because this isn't, this is just a class that we made. So just keep that in mind. So that's what we need to set up now, is this GL renderer example class. So let's switch over to there. And what we're going to do is we're going to allow this class to implement a renderer. So we're just going to say implements renderer, so we get all of the methods available to us. And then we just have to, import this and add the implement methods, unimplemented methods. And we have 3 methods that we can work with. I'm just going to change the order of these because it's just more convenient for me. So I'm just going to cut this one and paste it above top where we have our service created. And we're just going to change some of these variables just so it's more familiar. We're going to change this one to GL. We're going to change this one to EGL config, as well as for this second method, which is our draw method, to GL. And some of you guys might already have these names as I'm displaying them here, but if you do, you can just skip that. I'm just going to say GL for that. For a GL10 object, and we're also going to change this one to width and this one to height. So there we go. We have the basic framework of our renderer set up. Now let's just talk about what these methods do, when they get called, and all that good stuff. So obviously our surface created gets called when our renderer gets created, and we get this GL10 object, which I'll talk about more. As you can see, all of the classes get that object to work with, so that's pretty important, which we're gonna get into in more depth later. But as for now, just the basic framework of the methods here. Again, when our surface view gets created, it calls this method to set up some of the basics that we want our renderer to handle. Like we can set, and if you guys have worked with like 3D graphics before, like Blender or 3D Studio Max, whatever. Basically, this is where we set our camera. Like when you render, you can have it render smooth, or you can view it while you're making it as smooth, and all that kind of stuff. That's where we set up our render basics, the on create kind of stuff within this on surface created method. This on draw frame method is where we have the fun, where we change. This is basically like our canvas and our on draw, or where we unlocked our canvas and we like painted some stuff to it and then we locked it back up again. That's kind of what this is. This is what's going to get refreshed over and over, so if we want to change stuff, it's going to happen within this draw frame. So that's pretty basic. This on surface created method is this on surface changed method is if we go from like landscape to portrait. It's going to change basically the way everything's been set up. So it's going to call this method and see if we want to handle that somehow.